Coach, obviously jumping into MAC play with the defending league champions, obviously extremely talented Ohio team. Is it a good thing getting tested this early in MAC play, or just what are your kind of thoughts on, really diving right in here in MAC?
It's the next team on our schedule. I think it's good that you see a quality opponent certainly early on in the MAC schedule. It'll set the tone moving forward. A lot of ball has to be played between now and November. But like you said, they're very talented. They're defending champions, and this will be our first real big test in terms of in conference on the road, coming off of last week. So we have our work cut out for us this week.
You've already faced a lot of really good quarterbacks this season already, and good mobile quarterbacks. Obviously, they have a great one in Parker Navarro. What stands out the most about him from watching him on tape?
Parker Navarro is a phenomenal player, probably the best quarterback in the conference. And his playmaking ability with his arm, certainly with his legs, his ability to extend plays. He's really smart with the football. Doesn't make a lot of mistakes at all. He's very careful in terms of protecting the football. Really good wide receivers, but his legs make the difference. When you got to get him down, especially on critical downs, he's able to make those plays happen. So we're going to be really mindful of both. And, they do a great job of putting them in position to make plays.
Obviously, with the non-conference schedule done now for you, what do you like most about what you've seen these last 4 games, and what's maybe the one area or a couple areas that you really want to see improve?
I think we've improved week to week, even through our setbacks and losses. I've seen some improvement. Last week, our goal was not to give up any sacks. We did just that, 0 sacks against a unit that's produced 10 on the year. We were able to rush the football fairly effectively, developed some type of efficient run game. We didn't give up the explosive pass the explosives in our pass game like we did a couple of weeks ago. So we're showing some growth in the back end of our defense. And we won the fourth quarter yet again in a loss. And every game that we've played, we pride ourselves and really focus on winning the fourth quarter regardless of the score. So those things we're growing. Now, where we have to get better at is our passing game. I think, I believe in Drew. I think that we're doing the right things. Just getting out of rhythm. Certainly last game didn't help matters. Throwing the 2 picks didn't help matters. Bad read on his behalf. The first one, the second one was a miscommunication. And those guys did a nice job of scheming some things up, of having a week to prepare for us. So there's an opportunity to grow and learn. The encouraging part is that we finished strong. We was able to throw a touchdown pass at the end, but we have to be more effective and efficient in our passing attack. When the opportunities are there, we got to hit the open receiver. When the receiver is there, he put his hands on the ball, he's got to catch it. And that's how we're going to build momentum, by marrying our run game with our passing attack and building an offense that can score points in the red zone. And again, we've got to be able to score touchdowns and not turnovers and not penalties. That's setting us back from getting it going. So I'm fairly pleased with our effort, the things that we can control, our effort, our attitude, our intentions, our physicality is showing up. And that's it. So we got to be really mindful of that. And the discipline it's something that we're always talking about in our program. The discipline of staying on sides, eliminating the mental errors, eliminating poor penalties that put us in positions to not be successful. So those things are never ending. So that's an ongoing thing for the rest of the season.
Part of that running game efficiency was using Lucian Anderson. Just take us through the process of putting in those packages, and how important is it to also have him be a passing threat as well?
Yeah, Lucian has improved tremendously since the spring. I really take my hat off to him and his ability to not get down on himself, not go in the tank, to find ways to get better when he's not getting reps. You often see him behind the first team offense, going through mental reps, going through the body language as if he's out there going through his progressions, as if he's getting a rep, and that's paying off dividends for us. We felt like Lucian's legs is a huge factor. It can be a huge factor for us, certainly going into conference play. There are some things that he can do throwing the football. We don't want to do put a whole menu on him in terms of the entire offense. I think there are some things that he can definitely do. We feel confident in, and he feels confident in doing as well, executing, throwing the football. But we're finding out, man, this guy can roll. 75-yard touchdown run against a really good opponent. We want to expound on that. So we'll look for ways to make that happen this week.
Other side of the ball, any update on Dorian Pringle?
Yes. Dorian, unfortunately, will be out for the rest of the remainder of the year with the torn ACL. Happened against Liberty a few weeks ago. We were optimistic that it would hopefully be a sprain, but it turned out to be just what we initially thought it was going to be. So it's unfortunate for Dorian. I think he was having a phenomenal year, really coming on, really maturing into the quarterback of the defense, becoming one of our most valued leaders, really the MVP for our defense because he's grown so much, and he'll continue to do that off the field. But this is an opportunity for the younger guys to come in, step in, find out who they are, grow. We talk about the power of the unit. This is a part of it. Football, you want to have casualties of war, man, and that's unfortunately the bad part about it. But that's what we preach, is that you're only one play away from being a starter and having a tremendous impact on our team. So when you're not so getting the reps, if you're not getting the opportunities, your opportunity's coming. So you better be ready when it does come. So I think guys are starting to understand it and taking ownership of that.
Even without Dorian last week against Louisville, things to build on, holding them to 4 field goals. Where are the other areas you need to improve defensively?
Certainly within our passing defense, I think we saw that. A really good quarterback, exceptional receivers. And when you go up for 50-50 balls and the receiver comes down with one, you got to live with that. I was encouraged to see that guys weren't being cut loose. The communication on the back end is much better. And it is what it is. You look at it and say, hey, their receivers are pretty good. And their guys weren't able to get them down. And our defense was exposed to a lot of plays in that third quarter. We had 9 plays or 9 yards on offense in the third quarter. And our defense was out there quite a bit. So it was hot. They were tired, but they fought. And they held a team that was explosive to 4 field goals in the second half. And that's encouraging. You look to build off of toughness and mental toughness. And typically in a game like that, a team that's not mature or doesn't have the physical or mental toughness to finish strong, that game gets way out of hand quickly. And I didn't want to see anybody quit. And that's important. You got to find out who is going to continue to compete regardless of the score and have pride in who you are and what you're trying to do and what you're trying to accomplish, and sees the bigger picture. And nobody didn't point fingers. Nobody didn't get down. Nobody didn't say, hey, we were throwing in the towel. Everybody still fought. And we walked out of there not feeling the best, but feeling encouraged that, hey, we got to continue to learn and grow. And it's by, our self-discipline that this team, this unit has to really tighten the screws on, and that's what we're going to really focus on this week.
You've outscored your opponents in the fourth quarter of every game this year. I guess how important is that going into conference play if, let's just say, you're in a tight ball game come fourth quarter?
Well, knowing that we've done it, we can do it, it's great. We've got to get off to a much faster start, and that's only going to be done with repetition and diligence and resilience. That's what we have to do. Is really harp on that. I mean, not every team in the country is dealing with something that they have to work on. There's no perfect team out there. You look at the number 1 team in the country. I'm pretty sure Ryan Day is finding out, hey, here are some areas we have to get better at by season's end. So the fact that we're second in the country in terms of first-time starters, and we're able to find ways to win in the fourth quarter, something that we preach and build on every single day that we're in the building. We talk about finishing strong in the fourth quarter, build for the 4-4. That's what we call it. and no matter what it is, we're going to outscore you, outpunch you, outlast, outhit in that final quarter, and let the final outcome be what it's going to be. But that's just the mentality. So to see that coming to fruition is really gratifying, and it tells me that we're doing the right things. And then it doesn't mean that next week we got to continue to do those things, harp on it. You just don't throw your helmet out there and, hey, we finished the last 4 games, strong. Now we got to go out and put a whole game together and finish strong in the fourth quarter, knowing that we can do it.
And all of your experiences with football, obviously playing, watching, coaching, when you think of the MAC, what's the first thing that comes to mind?
Oh, just talented football teams, great coaching. All the teams are relatively the same. You can't. If a team has no wins, more than likely they can beat you on any given Saturday. So the margin of error is very slim. Exciting football, a tough-nosed, hard, disciplined football. That's what I think about when I think about the MAC, and it's going to be exciting to get into league play.
Games, just how's the offense feeling, heading into MAC play? Obviously you guys have shown some bright spots, some areas where maybe you'd like to improve, but just what's kind of the overall feeling offensively heading into MAC play?
These non-conference games that we played, they're always great because we get to find like where we are and what we need to improve on. So going into conference play is good. We're feeling great, and we're ready for the challenge for MAC play because we've been there before, and we're just ready to get busy and stay consistent, get on the right track, and do what we have to do to be successful.
Opening up with Ohio, they won the MAC last year. They're obviously very talented again this year. Is it a good thing to, the first MAC opponent is, right out of the gates going to be probably one of your tougher ones? Or how do you kind of view just, starting off with such a tough opponent in Ohio?
Yes, it's great that we get to play against the defending MAC champs, and they've been a really great program over the years, and it's just great to finally we get to start our season over. So basically we're 0-0 in conference play, so it's good to be able to play against an opponent of that nature of them. And it's just great to be able to go out there and do what we have to do, and we'll be ready for the challenge.
In the past, you've mentioned, you played against Toledo when you're at Texas Southern, but, through this early part of the year, just seeing, kind of what other MAC teams have done, maybe just what are your, maybe first impressions of the conference as a whole?
As the conference as a whole, it's a very great conference, and it's a lot of great teams, and we're just ready to get into conference play like I mentioned before. So it's a great conference, and I'm ready to play against everyone.
I'm sure you'd rather be 4-0, but 2-2 through the first 4 weeks of the season. Are you satisfied? I don't satisfied is probably not the right word either, but is that are you happy with being 2-2?
Of course, we would love to be 4-0 right now, but I'm glad that I'm not going to say that I'm glad that we took those losses, but it's kind of good that we took those losses early so that way we could learn from them. Because like Coach George says, you can learn from every loss. Not every loss is bad. You can learn from them, and it's just great that we have opportunity to start our season over during conference play and to be able to learn from those losses those 2 losses that we did take.
What are some of the things you learned specifically from the Louisville loss then?
From the Louisville loss, offensively, we learned that we have to continue to start fast and stay consistent. We can't shoot ourselves in the foot, and just continue to motivate everybody that we have another opportunity to do it just next play, not to worry about what happened last drive, but to get ready for the next drive. So just staying consistent is the main thing.
Obviously, Lucian had that 75-yard touchdown run. What does a mobile quarterback do for the offense?
It opens up different I guess you could say it opens up the defense because they have to respect his legs, and then they also have to respect his arms. So that's great for any offense to have a mobile quarterback, and for Lucian to be able to come in and give us a spark that we needed. That was pretty amazing.
Jacob Harris touchdown catch the last couple weeks, and obviously with what you're doing as well, like just with the tight end, position, performing this well, like how good of a start is it, between you and seeing Jacob, really kind of develop into his own as well?
I'm very happy for Jacob. I try to keep Jacob motivated. He's a great guy, and last week. Well, what was that against? Maybe a week or two ago, he had his first career touchdown, and I told him that I was excited for him and that he had many more to come. So as the tight end with the tight end position playing as great as we're doing, I feel like that's a great spark for the team and for the unit, and that the younger guys are getting their feet wet and able to make plays and make touchdowns and stuff like that. That's very amazing for our room.
Eric, jumping right into MAC play with the defending league champs, just thoughts on, facing such a talented team right away. They've obviously played well to start. Just is it maybe a good thing to start with one of the best MAC teams right away?
I feel like it is. It's a great challenge for us to see where we're at in the league. And we have a lot of, I feel like, guys who can come up to Ohio and make something happen, especially with the injuries that we've had. And I think that we have the ability to compete in this league. And it's a great challenge. I feel like it'll be good to gauge where we're at and, just start off conference play. It's a great way to kick it off.
Obviously, the MAC is, anyone can beat anyone any given week. Last week saw Western beat Toledo. Is that like kind of encouraging, or is it maybe require like an extra level of focus knowing that, any team can kind of beat anyone at any time?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I feel like our biggest thing is worrying about ourselves, not get too interested in what everybody else has going on, just being locked in on our opponents for our weeks. And, our biggest thing is just being disciplined and staying focused on what we have going on. And, it's cool to check it out where everybody else is at, but our biggest thing is ourselves. We got to worry about ourselves.
Through 4 weeks, how do you feel the defense has been doing? What do you like most about, the defense side of the ball, and what areas do you think, you're really trying to work on and improve?
I really like how fast and physical we play. I feel like up front-wise, we've gotten better week from week, and our secondary has gotten so much better since our first game. Our linebackers are playing fast. We got dudes, flying around the field, populating the ball. I think our biggest thing is just keeping our eyes disciplined and staying focused on the play at hand and not getting dwelled on we let up a big play or this in here. And I think our biggest thing is just penalties, just cutting down on penalties and just being disciplined in our play, handling our business in between the whistles.
Have your teammates talked to you about like what to expect in MAC play, going up against these teams like, Ohio, Toledo, and everything like that? Have they kind of given you any advice on kind of what to expect?
Yeah, just expect a physical game. MAC is a very physical conference, and just to be ready for anything, really, because it's unpredictable, very unpredictable.
Coming from an FCS school and being the son of the head coach, are you doubly trying to prove yourself worthy of Bowling Green? I think your actions speak for yourselves on the field. Is that one of your motivations?
No, not really. I just try to have fun, man. Just playing football. I've been doing this for my whole life, really, and I love to do it, and I love to make plays. I love to have fun with my brothers.
Does anybody ever get mad and call your dad Edward?
No. No.
Questions for Eric?
That's it.
You guys have faced some very good quarterbacks already this season, and Ohio's got an outstanding one who can also run the ball really effectively. Like, what's the key to trying to slow down, not only a quarterback that can throw the ball, but, is just as effective with his legs?
I think just being disciplined with our keys and our eyes, because, with a running quarterback, it's easy to get pulled into, him having to stop his legs, and he'll, throw a bomb over our heads. So I think just being disciplined and trusting each other, being able to make plays when we need it, and just having guys step up for, people who may be lacking that day, or just being able to step up when times needed.